Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger. Tonight, roughly 90% of the United States is under stay-at-home orders, including Montana. This as the number of cases and deaths from COVID-19 rise dramatically by the day. Now, the situation is dire in New York State, where deaths doubled in just 72 hours to more than 1,900. Some New York City hospitals are reportedly activating policies allowing doctors not to revive dying COVID-19 patients as cases surge and facilities are stretched thin.
The turnover, someone passes away, all right, get the room clean, next person in immediately. I mean, there's patients sitting in the ER on ventilators waiting to come up.
This as the U.S. now has around 250,000 reported cases of COVID-19, resulting in almost 6,000 deaths. Well, fortunately, the disease is not taking the same toll here as it is in other places, but another 24 Montanans have tested positive since this time last night. There are currently 241 confirmed cases across the state. That's up 14 now from this morning alone. The total number of deaths remains at 5. As of tonight, there are 22 Montana counties with confirmed cases and 24 patients have been hospitalized. Yellowstone County saw one more positive test, bringing our total to 35. Now, Gallatin County has 40% of the state's confirmed cases as it reaches 93 positive tests. And in Wyoming, there are now 153 confirmed cases. More than 1,800 people have been tested there, and no deaths are reported. The most cases in Laramie County with 37, Teton County at 29, and Fremont County with 26. Well, a TSA agent based at Missoula International Airport is among 17 confirmed cases of COVID-19 there. The screening officer last worked on March 25th. Over the past 14 days, the TSA reports 58 screening officers have tested positive for COVID-19 across the United States. Now, the agency says it's working with the CDC along with state and local health departments to monitor local situations and ensure safety. Dozens of Montana National Guard soldiers and airmen are preparing for a different type of duty after the governor activated them for COVID-19 response. Today, guardsmen learned how to properly screen people using thermometers and wearing protective equipment. Starting tomorrow, 73 soldiers and airmen will work at airports and rail stations across the state, including Billings Logan International Airport. They'll screen passengers getting off planes and trains with their permission and follow up with information for anyone who needs it. Now, this mission might be different from others, but the goal is the same.
It's not a go-to-war mission. It is it's Montana's taking care of Montana's mission, and that's really what we're all about. The people you'll see that are in these terminals are from the very communities that they'll be supporting or very near.
Well, guardsmen say this is about educating people and helping to slow the spread of the virus. A traveling nurse from Butte who's been working in the D.C. area recently says she tested positive for the virus despite taking every precaution she could to prevent it. MTN's John Amy spoke to her via Zoom this morning, where she's in quarantine and trying to recover.
Melissa McGregor is a strong, healthy Butte woman, but the coronavirus hit her hard.
I got the worst body aches that you could ever imagine and in your entire life. Just your body is just racked with pain, horrible headache.
She was working as a nurse in Washington, D.C. this winter when she tested positive for COVID-19.
It's frightening that it just literally takes your body over and reduces you to absolute nothing, and you have no control over it. It comes in waves.
Despite taking daily precautions, McGregor, like many nurses on the front line of the coronavirus fight, could not avoid getting exposed.
People need to take this seriously. It's not influenza. This is worse than influenza. There is no vaccination for it. It's life and death. And our economy is going to suffer from this, but would be even more devastating if we don't follow the restrictions.
McGregor says she's confident she'll make a quick and complete recovery from the virus. And once she does, she will continue her duties as a nurse in Washington, D.C.
Call me crazy, but I'm not now more than ever since I, been infected and I can get over this. I'm even going to be even stronger and more valuable to stay in the workforce.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
McGregor says she's received many messages of support over social media and looks forward to returning home as soon as possible. Well, back here in Billings, 3 female suspects now face felony charges after a brutal caught-on-camera attack of a 15-year-old Billings girl. Now, this graphic video is circulating on social media, but the attack happened last month, showing Madison McKnight laying on pavement trying to protect her face and head as 2 other girls kicked and stomped her. Billings police say they've issued notices to appear to 2 17-year-olds and 19-year-old Dylan Rushman Douglas. All 3 of those women face felony robbery or accountability to robbery charges. None has been booked into jail because of the jail's recent policy regarding COVID-19. Well, tonight we hear from Madison's mother, who tells Q2's Andrea Lutz her daughter is recovering from both physical and emotional wounds.
It makes me angry that somebody could do this.
And anger is just one emotion Deborah Miller feels about the attack on her daughter Madison.
It's not necessary to treat another human being like that.
There's no other way to describe the video, now seen and shared dozens of times on social media. It's brutal.
Just kind of ran at her and started beating her. And I mean, she lay there on the ground just like, not even resisting, not even giving anything back to them in regards to physical violence.
Miller says all of this happened one night in late February in the parking lot of Albertsons on Central and 6th.
The lack of morality that these people have and the lack of concern for another human being, regardless of what precipitated this whole thing, is just astonishing to me.
She says Madison doesn't know the girls who attacked her, but that night called for a ride from another girl she does know.
They had no remorse. They were laughing. They were videotaping it. They were, thinking that this was funny.
Madison was left bleeding and swollen. After the attack, she was able to get up and walk for help.
Her whole right side of her face was completely swollen beyond recognition, but the physical wounds will heal. The emotional ones is what we're struggling with right now.
And that's where Miller's biggest worry for her daughter lies: healing.
It was a very disturbing thing for her, and she's not one to open up and share emotions with me. It's very difficult for her.
Healing for everyone.
It completely, it devastates me. There's not a night that doesn't go by that I don't cry for my child.
Miller believes the mental health system in Billings has failed her daughter, and she's frustrated by how long it took police to file charges. But regardless of all that, she wants everyone in the community to know violence like this can never be justified.
I just want to say that we have to come together as a community and not allow this thing to happen. If you see something, say something.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
All 3 of those suspects must appear in district court on or before April 12th. Again, Billings police say more charges are likely. COVID-19 and the stay-at-home order have added to school expenses with online classes and extra cleaning. School District 2 has received about $3.2 million in emergency funds. That's almost $2.5 million for elementary schools and more than $700,000 for high schools. That money comes from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or CARES Act. Superintendent Greg Upham says it will help pay for cleaning supplies along with technology and instructional materials.
The list goes on, but it's a very welcomed boost, I can tell you that. The biggest thing for us is to try to determine how much gap we have with our students and where they should be and where they normally would be and where they are. We're working on that now, but in the future, that could be being able to offer extended resources for students maybe that aren't demonstrating grade level proficiencies or meeting our benchmarks.
About 90% of the $41.3 million Montana received went to schools around the state. The rest has been set aside for other emergency needs. Well, it is the start of what is hoped to be the biggest economic recovery in U.S. history, an unprecedented public-private effort to mobilize Main Street and sustain the small business world through the COVID-19 pandemic. Q2's Jay Cohn joins us now with details on what's being offered as the government pumps billions of dollars into a stalled economy.
Well, they're not hanging out the free money signs yet, but if you qualify, that very well could be the case for thousands of small businesses across the country. The SBA's Paycheck Protection Program, all $349 billion of it, the fuel, if you will, for the nation's economic engine.
Significant resources coming out of Washington, D.C. right now. Our job is to get those in the hands of employers, small businesses in our community and throughout the state of Montana so they can start looking forward to what recovery could look like, month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the road.
The operative word for this program, speed. Local lenders can use their own systems and processes to get this emergency capital into the hands of more than 30 million small businesses and their employees.
The basic premise of that is to get some money into employers' hands to be able to pay employees for the next 8 weeks. And that's the real goal behind this thing, is to make sure that employees are getting their paychecks.
Western Securities' Mike Sepula says his bank hopes to start processing applications as soon as tomorrow, if possible.
The money is not necessarily free. You have to earn, there is a forgiveness portion to it, but you're going to have to earn that. Mm-hmm. And by that I mean, as a borrower, you're going to have to prove what your payrolls are. You're going to have to prove that you have those payrolls going forward during the next 8-week period. And in order to be able to get the forgiveness on the debt.
Another SBA program, Economic Injury Disaster Loans, as much as $2 million per business, now features an advance, a quick infusion of some $10,000 in cash within 3 days.
Very important. What we've heard initially on 2 weeks ago was, man, I don't need another loan, I need cash today. And then we were getting concerned about the SBA process taking too long and those dollars not being available for weeks and weeks. The SBA heard that message, I think, and with the encouragement of Congress, now they have that advance feature where they can get cash within a very short period of time.
While the SBA finalizes all the rules and details, both Arviskow and Sepula say now's the time to get your paperwork in order, your tax statements, your payroll records, everything ready to go as soon as possible. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
All right, thank you, Jay. More information is available at sba.gov or bigsky.economicdevelopment.org, where you'll find a step-by-step guide of resources available to small businesses. Well, some businesses here in Billings are actually doing pretty well during the COVID-19 pandemic. Montana Leather Company says that since they've switched to an online sales-only platform and refreshed their website, they've seen a noticeable increase in online orders. President of Montana Leather Company, Doug McPherson, and web designer Patrick McPherson have even found a way for people to stay busy by giving them the option to assemble their own leather products, at their home.
People are on their phones at home, on their computers and tablets, and on top of that, they're looking for stuff to do, and we offer quite a bit for hobbyists. So anybody looking for activities while they're staying at home is something that we provide. So the online business and the fact that we're supply to hobbyists has been a boon for us.
Well, still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news, School District 2 has had to overcome several challenges in the last few weeks, including making sure all their students are fed. We're going to tell you how they're doing. Plus, we're going to break down Montana's record-breaking unemployment numbers that have come out, and in sports, a unique birthday celebration that will hopefully bring a smile to your face.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.